Right. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're in South Africa, Zimbabwe, or Europe, good evening if you're on the other side of the world, Australia, Malaysia side, and good morning if you're sitting somewhere in the Americas. Andrew Eaton here. I hope you're all well. Let me just quickly go onto my Facebook here so I can make sure that this is streaming live onto my Facebook page. Yes, there it is.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you're in South Africa, Zimbabwe, or
Let's put the volume down there. Okay, fantastic. So, Happy New Year to everyone. This is my first live on my own for the year. I see people are popping on. If you're popping on, please do me a favor. Please Ruan, how's it, mate? How's it? Please just pop in and say where you're dialing in from. You know, South Africa, say where you are, in which town, or wherever in the world. I'd love to know. The second thing I'd like you to do, if you get value from this, please send me some loves. You know, there's little love things over there. I can see someone sending some loves over here already. I'd love to know if I'm adding value to your day. I see we've got about 50 people on here already. And I'll get straight into why I am shooting this. So first of all, I hope everyone had a great Christmas with their families, a good New Year. Darren, how are you doing? Kimo, how are you doing? Brian from Atlanta in Georgia. Lydia, how are you doing? Lots of people. Lawrence, how are you, my friend? Derek in Michigan, how are you? Great to see you. Dimitri, how are you, my friend? Good to see everyone here. Doris from Namibia. Just a whole bunch of people. Russell, how are you doing? Kim, how are you doing? Guadalupe Martinez, how are you doing from Mexico? Love it. You've got a whole global audience here. And I hope you guys get value. So, like I said, I hope you all did well, had a good festive season. I know that I had a good festive season because I can see it here on my face and on my tummy. So tomorrow I'm back into the gym. And today's my first day back on the job, really, back in my office, back into work. And, I've been quiet on Facebook. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook. I really haven't been posting a hell of a lot. I really just wanted to clear my mind when I came back from Dubai, just spend some time with the family. But this morning or this afternoon, I was sent a link to a post, which has made me want to do today's call. And before I get on to that, let me just give you a little bit of a background of the heading of this particular live that I'm doing, which is, recession proof, COVID proof. How are you set up business wise for 2021? People, I don't know, if it's okay with you, I'll tell you a little bit about my story as to where I am today. But, I am an entrepreneur. Some of you know that, many of you don't know that, but I'm an entrepreneur. I had my own traditional business here in South Africa from 2000 to 2008. It was in the IT space. Started off in the printing space, morphed into the IT space. And I don't know if all of you remember, but in 2008, we went through a global recession. It was sparked by the subprime mortgage catastrophe in America, and it had a global influence. And many businesses went out of business. Many people lost their jobs. Many entrepreneurs lost their businesses because of this, because of the subprime mortgage dilemma, and because of the fiasco that followed that. And I was one of them. I lost my business in 2008. It was a horrible time, and I was broke. Only been married for a year. Managed to get a job thanks to a friend of mine who said, "Listen, you can be my sales manager," but wasn't earning a lot of money, and it was a bad time, especially for a newly married person. And the reason I tell you the story is not for anyone to feel sorry for me. It's just that you understand that I have lived through a recession where I was a victim. I allowed myself to be a victim of that recession. And I know how a lot of people are feeling right now. I really know that a lot of people are desperate, and I don't think we're out the woods yet, but I'm going to get to that in a moment. The long and the short of it, as I dug myself out of this recession and the loss of my business and the loss of my confidence, to be honest, I really did a lot of analysis. Now, I'm not an analytical person, so when I say, hi, Stuart, how are you doing? And I say I did some analysis, that's quite something. But I realized by following some really, really wise people, which I decided to follow, some mentors, I realized and I understood that recessions are cyclical. As much as we come out of recessions, we'll go into another recession. And those recessions can be sparked by anything. But what I realized is that recessions are getting worse and worse and worse. So they're going from recessions into depressions, and they happen every 8 to 12 years. So look at this, 2008, we're in 2021 now. Pretty much we started it last year. And this one was sparked, you can call it by COVID, but I think, it was already on the horizon because of all the quantitative easing happening in the fiat currencies. For those of you who don't know what quantitative easing is, it's when countries and governments print more money to prop up a failing fiat system. And I think that what COVID did really really exasperated that. And so in 2011, there's two things I was looking for in a business. One was that I wanted to have a recession-proof business, a business that if ever a recession came along again, I'd be in the position to ride out the recession and maybe even flourish. I had no idea what that looked like in 2011, but I just knew that I had to find a way to do it. And it sent me on my journey. Now, I don't want to keep this live too long, and I don't want to tell my whole story. But it took me about 4 or 5 years in this journey when I found what I believe to be a solution. And the solution for me came in two ways. One, I wanted a business where my overheads were minimal. I wanted a business where I didn't have to hire staff, didn't have big stock, didn't have a business that I had to hire a building like I did when I had my IT business or offices. I just wanted one where if I could keep my expenses low, business-wise, then and my as well as my living expenses low as possible, then if there were to be another recession, unlike the last time where my expenses were high, I'd probably be able to ride it out. And for me, that answer came in building a network marketing home-based business. And the reason that excited me, because on the research that I did, and I want to challenge everyone here to do some research. History is a great teacher, and history doesn't lie. History is what happened. And historically, it's been proven that in a recession, there's only one industry that thrives. And I can challenge anyone to do this because I did this research. There's only one industry that's been shown to thrive in a recession or depression, and that is the network marketing business industry. And the reason being is very simple. People don't have another choice. People have lost incomes. They're more open to hearing about it. So you can actually thrive in any traditional home-based business, any traditional network marketing business during a recession depression. And what we saw last year, and I'm not going to go through the stats to back this up, but what we saw last year during 2020, where this recession hits us, where this depression has hit us, which has been exacerbated by COVID, is that people in the network marketing industry and companies in the network marketing industry have seen phenomenal growth in their business. This is fact. You can go and check the stats. And that was number one. But it wasn't enough for me because, you see, in a recession and a depression, it's your fiat money, it's your rands, it's your dollars, it's your euros, it's your yuan, it's your yen, it's your pound, your sterling, that really depreciates. And so your spending power, not only are you at the mercy of losing your job, losing your business, downsizing, having your salary decreasing, but the actual spending power of what you manage to hold onto during a recession or depression also decreases. Hi, Christine. Good to have you on here. Carl, how are you doing? If this is making sense to you, just give me a love if this is all making sense to you. So you lose in two ways, because you could lose your job, you get downsized, but also your spending power during this time also decreases. And so the second thing that I looked for, and as I went on this journey of mine, was a business, as I started to learn about crypto, was that crypto can't be controlled by governments. Bitcoin, let's just use Bitcoin as an example, cannot be owned and controlled by a government. It can be regulated, and regulation is very different to control. You see, the US government can't decide, hey, Andrew, can't decide to go and print more Bitcoin tomorrow like they can go and decide to go and print more dollars. So they can't control Bitcoin. They can regulate it. And I'm not against regulation, but they certainly cannot control it. And so the more I started to understand inherently what cryptos were about and how blockchain works and how blockchain and cryptos can change the world, this is back in 2015, the more I wanted to become involved in it. And the more I wanted to look at it, the more I realized that what I want, that every good crypto project, even Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big ones, they all require they require a number of things, but there's one thing that all do require, and that is a community that rallies around it, uses it, and tells other people about it. See, the only reason I got into Bitcoin is because someone told me, go and buy yourself some Bitcoin. 2013, someone told me to go and buy Bitcoin. It was something like, I can't remember whether it was $2 or $10 in 2013, but it was something ridiculous like that. And I remember saying to this person, someone that I'd met online while I was doing my affiliate marketing, I remember thinking to myself, what government will ever allow this silly coin to actually ever prosper? And that limited thinking cost me millions. Because you see, I got back in because someone told me about it in 2015. And at that stage, it was $300 a Bitcoin. But imagine if I just listened to someone in 2013 when I first heard about it. In fact, it might have even been 2012. I thought it was a bunch of rubbish. And look where it is now. And so when I understood this, and that we could help grow communities around cryptocurrencies, and we can diversify our fiat currencies into currencies, cryptocurrencies that are not controlled by a government, I realized that this is a business model and a business solution that made sense to me, and that's what I stuck with from 2015 onwards. Now, here's what I want to say. Some of you have followed my journey. It's not a perfect world. It really is not a perfect world. And I'd love to tell you that everything that I did in Bitcoin turned to gold. And I'd love to tell you that it was a smooth ride, but that would be lying. I've made my mistakes, but I've learned. I've made errors of judgment, but I've learned. The most invaluable experiences one can have is the mistakes you make. It hasn't always been a plain sail. And there's been many ups and downs. But here's what I want to tell you, is that I'm eternally grateful that I looked at it in 2015. And here's why. Here's why. I don't think, no, tell me if, I just want to hear who I'm talking to. Let's be a bit interactive here. If 2020 has been a tough year for you, type in the word tough. Just type in the word tough. If 2020 was a tough year. I don't care what business you're in, but I just want to know if 2020 has been tough. And if you know someone who has lost their job because of COVID, or who lost their business, just type it in there. I think we all do. And here's why I'm eternally grateful. Is 2020 was not an easy year for me either. The main crypto project that I was involved in also went through a tough time last year. But here's what we saw happen last year. Last year, the world went into lockdown. And many people had traditional jobs where it was dependent on them going to the office, could no longer go to the office. And so they had salary cuts. Thanks for that, Donnie. So they had salary cuts. Many people lost their jobs as companies needed to downsize. Economies literally came to a halt. Restaurants couldn't work. Therefore, my brother-in-law, he supplies fruit and vegetables to the top Cape Town restaurants and hotels. And that, of course, had a downward effect to them. They didn't have so many hotels and restaurants to supply. It affected their business. They're still struggling with it. And so economies literally came to a standstill because of COVID. And many people did, what that affected was the global economy. So we went into a recession globally last year. We are in a recession, heading into, if not already in, a global depression. And the reason why so many people are struggling, and the reason why so many people are in the position that they are today, is because they had not set themselves up to be recession-proof and COVID-proof. And here's what most people thought. They thought by the end of 2020, we'd be through the COVID lockdown restrictions were not just here in South Africa, globally, lockdown restrictions were lessening. COVID, there's going to be a vaccine, everything will go back to normal. Here's what happened for me last year. It wasn't an easy one. But because in 2011, I made a decision that I wanted to have a business that was recession-proof. I didn't know back then that I needed a COVID-proof business, but let me tell you how that worked out for me. Is that when 2020 arrived, I had enough crypto that I'd accumulated over the years that it pulled me through. My savings weren't in banks and in the traditional places. I had enough crypto that it pulled me through. It wasn't a flourishing year by any means. But most importantly, I also had a business that wasn't dependent on me having to go into an office. I didn't have a business where I had to worry about employees and getting them to an office. I had a home-based business that I could run, and it was a global one and is a global one that I can run from my home. And I could run from my home. I had a business that paid me and continues to pay me in crypto. I don't earn rands if you're in South Africa. I don't earn dollars. I don't earn euros either anymore. I only earn crypto. I earn Bitcoin. I get paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I diversify a little bit out of that into other cryptos. And I'm able to seamlessly pull it into fiat currency. I'm able to spend it in rands if I want to. And that's a discussion for another time. And so at the beginning of last year, that's where I was. I was as affected externally by the global pandemic of COVID and the recession that followed and the depression. But because I had a recession-proof business and I had a COVID-proof business, I was able to not only survive last year, but by the end of last year, as things started to lighten up, to start to thrive again. And I'm eternally grateful for that, despite 4 or 5 years where it hasn't always been a smooth ride. I'm not going to lie to anyone until it's always been smooth. Now, why do I tell you this? And what made me want to do this live was because I was sent, I don't know if you can see it in the heading of my live here, but the president of South Africa is meeting with his COVID council tomorrow. And it pretty much looks like, and I may be wrong, that we could be heading into a level 4 or 5 lockdown again. Britain has already gone into a level 5 lockdown again. They locked down for 3 months. The Netherlands and Belgium have already for a couple of weeks been in a lockdown. Full lockdown. It looks like the world is shutting down again, people. It looks like it. Now, before anyone accuses me of being a doomsdayer and trying to create an opportunity to sell or something like that because of other people's problems, let me tell you that this is not doomsday. This is reality that I'm talking to you about. We saw what happened last year. Now, if you were affected negatively, that's okay. A lot of people weren't ready, but it's stupid. It's stupid if you know what's coming again and you don't do something different. Let me say that again. If it happens to you the first time, it can happen to anyone. If it happens to you a second time, you're the one that's made the mistake. You're the one that needs to go and look at the mirror. You're the one who's going to go and think, well, what could I have done differently? Now, I'm here to tell you that there is a different way. You see, we have a business that is a home-based affiliate business that will pay you in Bitcoin and Ethereum, not daily, by the minute as transactions are happening. No, it is not some trading thing where you can earn off some bot and all that sort of rubbish. It's not that rubbish. It's a real project. And we know we're going to head into a challenging couple of months for the world again, until the vaccine comes out. Now, I don't know, I don't know what your opinion is on vaccines. It doesn't matter. I've got my own opinion. I'm not a big fan of them, but I realize the world needs them. Until that happens, it looks like we're heading into another global lockdown. Now, I want to ask you, if it happens again, how's it going to affect you? Type in there right now. If that happens, if on Thursday, on Thursday, if you're in South Africa, we're going to another level 5 lockdown, how's that going to affect you? And if you're from somewhere else in the world, someone's asked me, Carapaul's will pay in Bitcoin or Ethereum. No, this is another project. We have transferred into this project. But anyway, you can private message me. I can't see who that is, but I'm looking at. So if it were to happen to you, where would you be? What are you going to do differently in 2021? So that when it happens, not if, when, you're not sitting where you are today. Or have you set yourself up to be recession-proof and COVID-proof? Have you? Now, you don't have to listen to me. You don't even have to believe me. There we go. And in Ireland, they're level 5 already. They're locked down. That means they cannot go to a restaurant to enjoy their meal, to pay the restaurant, so the restaurateur can survive, so these waiters can survive, the staff in the kitchen can survive. They can't go to a restaurant in Ireland so that the suppliers of the fruits and the veg and the meats, etc., for that restaurant can survive. It has a downward effect. And what are all those people doing? They're looking for other ways to make money. They have to. They just need to be open. They need to realize there's a new way of doing things. And you can do it from your home on something called the internet. And we can use the money and make the money of the internet. Zim, locked down again for 30 days. So here's my message. I can't guarantee you that what we have is your solution. But I can guarantee you it's a solution. So Christine's saying, no difference to work for House of Parliament from home. However, husband business could possibly go down. It's a restaurant. Can you take away sell? Yeah, exactly, Christine. People read what Christine's just said there in the comment space. So I can't guarantee you that our solution is your solution, but it's a solution. Here's what I want to say to you. It's foolhardy right now not to investigate it. You don't have to do what we're doing. But ignorance right now is not bliss. You can't hop off this live that I've done now and plead ignorance, because I'm telling you there's a better way. I haven't told you how it all works, but that's what we can get to next. I just want to tell you that we have a way. And if I could show you a way in which you could set yourself up in the next 12 months to be both recession-proof and COVID-proof, so that you can not only survive, but you can also flourish, would that be worth your while to investigate? And if the answer to that is yes, let me know. Say yes. Awesome, Rian. I love what you're saying there. Rian's one of the most dynamic guys I've ever met. I'm sure you are, bud. I'm sure you are. But if I was to ask you, if I could show you a way that working together with me and some of my key partners, that we could show you a way in the next 12 months how you could make sure that you are both recession-proof and COVID-proof, would that be worth investigating? Type yes in the comments box if so. Just investigating. Now, if you're watching this and you know me and you're here because of me, just send me a message on Facebook and Messenger, just on Messenger. If you've got my WhatsApp, send me a WhatsApp, and we can start a discussion. Just a discussion. Not here to sell anything. I'm just here to share. If, however, you're watching this with someone else told you to watch this, please get back to them, because they're probably one of my associates already, and they're already setting themselves up, or already have set themselves up to be both recession-proof and COVID-proof. And so to end off, this is what I want to say. I get the fear. I get the anxiety that this world has gripped this world right now. I get where people are. And by all means, this live that I'm doing here is not meant to take advantage of that and think that please don't think of that's what I'm doing. It's a very real, surreal scenario which we all find ourselves in. I'm just here to share with you what I think is a really good solution. It's my solution. Solution for me. It's not, it's a solution for me. It has been a solution for me. That's helped me not only survive, but also thrive over the last 12 months. I am in a better position today than I was in February of this year when lockdown started. Way better. And not many people can say that. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. It's my sincere wish that more people would just explore and be open-minded to what out-of-the-box solutions could look like. So let's start that discussion. If you're my guest on here, then just send me a private message on Messenger or on WhatsApp. You've got my WhatsApp. We can start a discussion. If you're here because someone else wanted to share this with you, please just get back together with them. So I really hope that you've got value. If you've got value from this, please send me a couple of loves here on the little thing here, all those little hearts. Facebook loves that. I love it. Just shows that I've added a bit of value to the day. And if you feel that some people need to hear this, maybe this isn't for you, but you know someone who you definitely think should be hearing this, do me a favor. Please tag them in or share this with them. It's a live. You can share and tag them. And I'll start a discussion with them as well and see where this can go. So I hope you all got value. And I hope that 2021 is a great year for you. And is that year where you set yourself up to be both recession-proof and COVID-proof. That's my message for today. It's my live for today. A successful 2021 to all of us. Cheers.